Welcome. Let's see. I can see 4 people watching. The only one. And there we have Jens. And Horizon View was in the side chat earlier on. So, anybody else here? Okay. It's been a long time since I made a live. I think it's over a month since I made a live, and a bit more since I made any videos. But still, people are watching my videos, so I think my audience haven't forgotten about me. The reason for the silence is that this summer I have worked way too much. I haven't been at home so many days during this summer, so I haven't had time to make videos, lives, or even making knives. Oh dear. So, today's topic is this. During the summer, I have tried to follow the nonsense that the Ferfs have put out in videos and they talked about on their silly live shows. And Res will be back soon. You're so welcome back. As everybody knows already, this summer have proven that Ferfs are afraid of the sun. Yes, Jens, life is happened. For me, it's happened a lot during this summer. I will come back to some of that later on. So I have prepared a part about Ferfs who are afraid of the sun. And then a short one about one of the more annoying ones. Nathan soon bald Oakley. And in the end, some military nonsense from the one and only taboo conspiracy. Perhaps this time of the day was not the best one to get the audience, but in some hours I will be back out at sea. So I didn't have any time to do a live evening time here in Sweden or Europe. So let's start the first nonsense. I have chosen some parts from different well-known Ferfs, and as all of them, those Ferfs are afraid of the Antarctic sun. Let's see, I haven't done this for several weeks. Where do I push? Wait a moment. We close that one and we start this one.
Recently, a wealthy globe Earth proponent named Will Duffy launched.
And it's very important that he have a lot of money. Of course, if you have a lot of money, you can't trust that person.
Launched a campaign dubbed The Final Experiment, which he claims will finally settle the globe versus flat Earth debate forever.
And of course, it will not, according to Eric Debay, because flat earthers loves to move the goalpost.
The results of this experiment are allegedly so conclusive that once conducted and completed, all flat earthers will be forced to concede and admit defeat.
I don't think that he believes that all flat earthers will leave flat earth when he and Jaren and Whitsitt and McKeegan will show videos with the 24-hour sun, because if you're a flat earther, you have to move the goalpost all the time.
So what is Will's brilliant idea? What is his ingenious experiment to finally silence all globe skepticism? Invite 12 Flat Earth YouTubers and 12 Globe Earth YouTubers to Antarctica in December to
And Eric was afraid to go.
see if there's a midnight sun. In other words, the final experiment is not an experiment, and not even a demonstration, but merely an observation.
So and for instance, when Taboo is playing with a laser over a lake, that's only an observation then, and prove nothing according to this fool's so-called logic.
In typical Globe Defender strawman fashion, Will is conflating a celestial observation with our terrestrial foundation.
Oh dear.
He's claiming that the motion of a light in the sky overhead somehow gives proof of the shape of the ground underfoot. In reality, the existence of a midnight sun in Antarctica no more proves the globe than the non-existence of a midnight sun in Antarctica proves the flat Earth.
So convenient. You can't explain how the sun works and what the sun is, because there are no flat earth model. So denying this is only silly. Every experiment or observation we show that is proof of a globe, you deny them. But you have never proven your silly flat earth. So Eric is afraid. He was too afraid to go to Antarctica, and he's afraid of the results. For Eric knows that they will see a 24-hour sun. And it make no sense on his pancake world. So this was a quite typical flurf. Let's listen to a short one from the next one.
For whatever reason, the final experiment has gained a certain degree of traction. And as that is the case with people endeavouring to call others shills based on their conclusions, there's no need. Let's just break down what actually is going on with the final experiment.
And here we will have Nathan Oakley's genius explanation of what's really will happen down there.
The whole point of the final experiment is to mask an antipodal assumption. What does that mean? It means that for them to suggest that they're proving a ball, they must first assume they're on a ball.
And every evidence shows that we live on a globe. And no evidence shows that we live on a flat pizza. Oh dear.
That's why they're going down to Antarctica.
And where are you going when you're going to Antarctica? To a big circle around a pizza? Oh.
So that they can assume they're on the bottom of a ball already.
And we know we are, and you don't know where you are.
So before they do anything for this endeavour, their side of this argument must assume they're already on a ball when they get there.
And we have proofs for the globe, and fools like Nathan have no proofs at all.
That's called begging the question. So how do you hide this very obvious fallacy of assuming the very thing you're trying to prove? Well, you mask it in a layer of other fallacies. First being and affirming the consequent fallacy. So you mask it by not letting people realise that the thing you're trying to prove isn't the thing you're actually observing.
Nathan loves fallacies. And he invent his own fallacies. But Nathan and Whitsitt and the rest of the fools, it's mostly word salad. They never show any evidence for their silly claims. Let's see the side chat. Yes, Phil, they mostly prove that Earth cannot be flat, and they are too stupid to realize it. Oh dear.
You make it seem like something else that you're observing, not whether or not Earth's a sphere, but whether or not there's a 24-hour sun. Well, that's affirming the consequent fallacy as follows.
Oh, he did find a new fallacy. So stupid.
If P, I assume my outcome of an antipodal positioning system globe Earth, then Q, I'll see a 24-hour sun. Q, I'll see a 24-hour sun. Therefore, my antipodal assumption begging the question fallacy of a globe Earth I haven't proven, I've just assumed.
How many fallacies did he mention that in one sentence? Oh dear. Oh. I wonder why Nathan don't want to go to Antarctica. He never addressed that properly, what I heard.
So if P, then Q, Q, therefore P, affirming the consequent. That's the fallacy. What happens if the general populace spots that fallacy?
And the general public don't believe you, Nathan. They know that we live on a globe.
What do you do next? You mask that fallacy in another fallacy.
Oh, one more fallacy. Oh dear.
Called a false dichotomy fallacy. So that you don't notice that you're affirming the consequent and not actually observing whether or not Earth's spherical, you're observing the sun. And you're observing the sun so you can assume the Earth is spherical by begging the question. You suggest that you put a flat Earthers model up against the globe model. So nobody notices that you've got a globe model already then.
And you don't have a flat Earth model because you can't explain the most obvious things. And the other thing, you flat earthers can't agree on anything. There are no flat Earth model.
So when you make your argument for the globe model, it's already in place with you on the bottom of it when you start looking at the sun.
Because all evidence proves that we live on a globe. This goes on for a long time. Nathan continues ranting about fallacies that, and so on. He have no real argument, he have no real evidence. It's only word salad. So, let's move on to the next stupid.
I mean, like the line of reasoning is just because Jaren goes to Antarctica and sees the 24-hour sun doesn't, and him saying that if he sees the 24-hour sun, then Earth cannot possibly be flat.
Yeah, because on a flat Earth, you wouldn't have a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And it's easy to explain. For instance, one of my houses is located north of the Arctic Circle. At the same time as they have 24-hour sun in Antarctica, we don't see the sun at all. I think we don't see it in a bit more than a month time from December to a bit into January. At the same time, you have 24-hour sun all around this pizza. The sun makes very strange things.
You made it sound like you're going to say the Earth is a globe.
I'm going to say that the Earth cannot be flat.
So it cannot be flat. So it must be a globe.
It's a fucked up statement, and Bro Sanchez is talking about how fucked up that is. And then Bro Sanchez, I was watching it till like 5 something in the morning, my time, and he was saying like the Earth is flat. Like are you a flat earther? Like he's putting like cornering Jaren to admit to the fact that he's a flat earther, and Jaren has to admit to the fact that he's a flat earther. So he's saying like that is a fucking strong argument already. That is our like star player.
So that he admits that he is a flat earther, but then he can't accept evidence that he's wrong, according to this fool. So that what Jared said, that if you see a 24-hour sun, the Earth can't be flat. He didn't admit to a globe, but he's on the way to believe in a globe. If he accept when he will see the 24-hour sun that it can't be flat. But according to the fool on this discussion, if you are a flat earther, you will ignore all evidence that shows that it's not flat. It sounds like some kind of cult or something. If you're in the cult, you're not allowed to leave it. Oh,
That's what Bro Sanchez is saying. Like talking about the sun and what it's doing in Antarctica is extracurricular activity. Why are we going to the extracurricular activity when we have the flat Earth already, and then the globe earthers cannot debunk the flat Earth? So what are we doing? Basically that was his argument.
The 24-hour sun debunks the flat Earth, and Jared is honest enough to understand that and saying it, that it can't be flat if you have the 24-hour sun. I have often said that Jared is dishonest, but in here he proved he's to be able to be honest about this. Let's see, 10 people. I'm not used to this, so I'm not following the side chat so good. I will try to read up, but time to the next big fool.
Will Duffy here, this guy who was doing this Antarctica trip.
And here we have Ireland's proud, Brian's not so logic. And of course, he are listening to his daddy, Nathan Oakley, and he are also afraid of the sun.
To see if they're going to see the 24-hour Antarctic sun. I made a video addressing him and his basic claims there recently. It's this video here, Will Duffy, #pitch data, #final experiment, right? This video was all based around basically his premise is that he said he wants to know for sure whether the Earth is flat or the Earth is a globe. The whole point of me making this video was to point out to Will that instead of going to Antarctica, or as well as if he wants to, it's up to him, but instead of going to Antarctica, there's many reasons why, instead of going to Antarctica to see if there's a 24-hour Antarctic sun, which doesn't prove flat or globe, actually the most it would do is just debunk the globe. Because if it's not seen, that just debunks the globe. If it
So if we don't see a 24-hour sun on Antarctica, it debunks the globe. And if we see a 24-hour sun on Antarctica, it will not debunk flat Earth. That's quite strange, because no one have given a reasonable explanation for 24-hour sun on Antarctica on a flat Earth. So it's obvious Brian is afraid of the result of this trip.
is seen, that doesn't mean the Earth is not flat. It just means that there's stuff going on in the sky that we don't understand.
It's many things that Brian don't understand. He don't understand anything about navigations, for instance. He loves to talk about things he don't understand. But obviously here he admit that he don't understand or don't know how the sun works. But still he claims that a 24-hour sun don't prove that the globe is the correct thing. But if we don't see the 24-hour sun, it proves that we don't live on a globe. At the same time, he admits that he don't know what the sun is and how it works. That is in no way, shape or form logic. So I think his name should be Brian Not So Logic. Personal dome. Yes. But I haven't seen any serious suggestion for how this would work on the pizza world. Oh, then we have the next big fool.
Now, I got sent this earlier. Now, I want you to pay attention here to how triggered Jaren is by demonstrable reality.
If you have missed that, Jaren had made several statements about Level Earth Observer, and they have been quite funny. I didn't use some of those, but it's quite clear that Jared is not so impressed by Leo.
You would have thought Jaren would embrace physical demonstrations we can all test and verify for ourselves.
But the only experiment or observation I've seen from Adam is when he sat in his tower crane and showed that the wire, what we call it, didn't swing. But he always sit and rant about things, but he never shows any of those experiments that he claims that all of us can do to confirm his silly fantasies about the shape of the world, of the earth.
You would have thought he'd embrace something like that, particularly given the fact the results of demonstrable reality prove the globe is physically impossible.
Jared have made his own observations. We have the classic from the documentary, Flat Earth documentary on Netflix, when he, sadly enough, did prove that his observations showed a globe. So at least Jared tries to do experiments, observations, but Leo never does any of those things.
But no, Jaren's got a problem with it. Do you know why? Because it blows out of the water the silly mockumentary he's going to star in Antarctica in December. Because whatever happens in the sky will never change the physicality of the ground we walk on.
So, Leo and the rest have changed. They have moved the goalpost because year after year after year we heard from almost all of them that we're not allowed to go to Antarctica because yada yada yada, and that's the reason why no one have made a video, a time lapse or anything showing the 24-hour sun. So that have been one of the main arguments regarding Antarctica from almost all of them. And now almost all of them are moving the goalpost. If we see a 24-hour sun, it don't prove anything. according to them. So I think if we send a Ferf to space so he see it by himself and take a video, they will call him a shill, that's CGI, etc., etc. So if we send Dirt or Mark Sargent or Witsit to space, I'm sure that they will be convinced, but the rest of them will defend their beliefs with he's a shield, he's a paid agent, and so on. So I don't think what we are doing, debunkers and so on, will not change that we have silly flat earthers. This will continue. So I don't believe that I will change the mind of any flat earthers. Perhaps we will manage to save some souls that are beginning to be interested in this rubbish. But to change the mind of Nathan Oakley, he has his income from this. Or Flatsoid FE that are more and more going into misrepresent what the Bible tells and so on. Those fools, I don't think they will change. And Brian's logic, you can't accuse him of making a living out of this, but to be honest, I think he is too stupid to understand evidence.
And as a result, Jaren is triggered by his kryptonite, and that is demonstrable reality. The very thing he should have embraced, he goes against. Strange that, isn't it?
Most of the audience just listens to the people they listen to and adopts their beliefs. So go read the chat for Leo's channel. Everybody believes Leo. They're all...
Demonstrable reality is not a belief. Pushing concepts, maps, and models that haven't been verified, that's a belief, and that's you, Jared.
The demonstrable reality mob, where they only believe in demonstrable reality that they choose to believe in. If you...
Yeah, and Jared is correct. Because Leo have never presented any evidence for his claims. He talks about experiments that we can do ourselves. What I said earlier on, he never do them himself. It's pure nonsense and a lot of words. Leo is a typical Ferf. Hello. Hej på dig, Andreas. He's from Sweden, so he did understand that one.
No. I stand by what is. There's no picking and choosing. What demonstrations are you claiming I'm ignoring?
I'm claiming that you never made any real demonstrations. The only one, as I said, you have tried to perform in your tower crane.
Or refusing to accept? You're lying, Jaren. Again.
give them some piece of demonstrable reality. They're like, you can't debunk reality. Oh, cool. How cool are you? Oh, how cute. Oh, you're saying you believe in reality so you can't be debunked? How cute.
Listen to him. This was supposed to be a leader of a community. And listen to how childish and blatantly dishonest he is. Listen.
It's funny. Level Earth Observer nowadays state that he's not a flat earther. Still, he claims that Jörn is some kind of leader in what? Because if Leo is not a flat earther, what is this community then that Leo is upset about that Jared is not representing anymore? Of course, it's the flat earth that Leo is not longer a part of.
Isn't it cute? I believe in reality. You can't debunk me because reality can't be debunked. Oh, That's adorable. Oh, way to take a stand. Way to have some cojones, man. You really went out on the line for that one.
Oh, so to be a tough guy, I got to ignore physics and just stand by ridiculous concepts.
The problem is that Leo don't understand physics. He don't understand science. He don't understand the most simple explanations about how things work in this world.
Like the ones you've conjured up in your head. Nah, mate, you have made yourself look so soppy, so silly, and so dishonest. You've done my job for me. Thank you.
Oh, what a strong male figure you are. Well, you can't debunk me because I believe in reality, and reality's never...
Sharon, you couldn't punch your way out of...
Oh, no, I had enough of Leo. Let's have a look at the side chat. Yes, Andreas, it's one of many problems with Leo. He don't understand physics, or he don't understand so much at all. I have chosen a short part from Nathan that I think shows how the person Nathan Oakley, for once he's not rude, but this one is quite stupid too.
How did you feel when I told you that your spinning ball in a sky vacuum was a religion? How did that make you feel?
Honestly, it's kind of scary, I think. Because sometimes I have dreams like, I think, what if this is just like a Hollywood movie? What if we're just random people in a movie set and the world's just completely random? This could be anything. Like, we could just be on some complete different... and no one even knows.
Right.
Like...
And Nathan agrees with him on that rubbish. Okay. What's happened with Nathan's hair? Is he going to be bald soon, or what's up with the shaved head? Or perhaps he joined Hare Krishna or something else. Who knows?
You never know. Like, what if the moon just hits the earth now and we all blow up?
It's just a light in the sky.
So the moon is just a light in the sky. Any evidence for that? Of course not. The moon isn't the light. The moon reflects light. Everybody with a bit of sense know that. How can you bounce radar signals against a light, Nathan? Because you can bounce signals against the moon.
The idea of it being a rock is again Copernican. It's orbital motion. It's actually Kepler. But it's still from, it's these Jesuit priests, Roman Catholic Church, that have created this idea that the moon's a rock and it's falling around us in orbit. Well, that's Keplerian orbital motion. It's just some guy from the church that's come up with some maths to better predict when Easter will be. That's all it is. But the actual system itself, globe-shaped, is created using measurements of a flat plane. So the world we actually exist on is flat.
And this is the go-to argument from Nathan. He lies about how the Earth is measured based on a flat Earth. He have no evidence for that claims, but he presents this as facts.
Really?
Think about it this way. The Americas and the new, what used to be referred to as the New Worlds. You ever heard that term?
Yeah, the New World. Yeah.
They don't like calling that. They don't like calling them that anymore. They call them developed countries or developing countries. Well, when they travelled out towards those countries, they used the stars to find their way back as they expanded the territory. So they're using flat maps, flat systems, flat angles to expand out the world.
But so, because they're navigating using stars and so on, we live on a flat Earth. Because if you look into it, all navigation is based on a globe. I have spent most of this summer out at sea, and all our systems are based on a globe. That's a fact. And our radios have a horizon, our radars have a horizon. I can go on. Everything regarding navigation is based on a globe, and that's easy to prove. But a fool that never leaves his home, that thinks he's a navigation expert. He has been a sales reps flying around the world. He didn't navigate the planes when he flew around the world, and I'm not sure that he ever have flown around the world. I think it's Nathan's story time. He's telling stories. But oh dear. I've been around the world. I navigated. I used system that have this type of system that have saved lives. If you have anything knowledge about anything regarding military, you know what this yellow mark on my chest means. It tells you that I have some experience about things in the world that Nathan never experienced. Oh dear.
Into the new worlds in our recent history.
Yeah.
So that's how the world's actually expanded, and it hasn't been that long since it was expanded into the new worlds and third worlds, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Well, all of that was done flat. But now, the Western world, or most of the world, in fact, as I'm finding now, having these conversations like I'm having with you, most of the world have been indoctrinated into what I call the one world religion, which is
science is not a religion. It have been scientifically proven so many times and so many ways that we live on a globe, that stars are real, that the moon is not a light in the sky. You can go to an observatory and look closely to the moon. It have been done so many times, bouncing signals against the moon. You have private people that have radios as a hobby that are bouncing signals against the moon. But if you, like Nathan, never leave your living room, of course you will never experience this type of things.
Is heliocentrism, the world flying around in a sky vacuum.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, telling people like yourself about the space that they think rockets are in and orbits and satellites is in is all fake.
Yeah.
And telling them about things like gas dispersion, entropy, second law of thermodynamics, that sort of stuff blows people's mind and is definitely worthy of a YouTube video.
It don't blow people's minds. Their minds are blown when they hear fools like Nathan Oatley. It's the flat earth is not big. Most people in this world that have some kind of education will not believe in Nathan's lies and fairy tales. And all professionals in different fields, people that are flying airplanes, people that are in charge of ships and so on, people that are navigating knows that Nathan Oakley present 100% bullshit. And I believe that Nathan is in it for the money.
That's sweet. Well done you. Oh, I'm so pleased for you. That's awesome.
And you're actually nice on here. There's loads of weirdos.
Yeah, I thought you were a kid I was about to spin on because I don't want to destroy kids' lives telling them stuff that they maybe don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Oh dear, I can't stand more of this nonsense. But I'm a bit triggered. I have been away from this for so long now, so I get a bit triggered when I hear liars like Nathan Oakley trying to fool this young man that are not sure about the world we live in. Oh dear. Now I will go into my line of work. The next one will be a video from Taboo. He's on one of his favorite topics. I have prepared some comments about the first parts of this video. He's once again is talking about radio systems, and in this first part, he have used Witsit Getsit as some kind of a credible source for the claims. And I think it's quite hilarious because, as you know, I work as military. Different kind of radio systems is important for us for communication. You can call radar. It's in a sense a radio systems. We use this kind of systems to see, to find things, to navigate. We use different kind of systems to our weapons. So we have all the time to calculate for the horizon. We use the horizon as a cover, and oh dear. So I have played some Ferfs video regarding military stuff for colleagues and so on when we have had some free time, and they always laugh and don't believe that people can be so damn stupid as those fools. So let's start this dumpster fire. Here we have Taboo Conspiracy.
Last week, I was watching a debate with Witsit Getsit that was recently shared on the Flat Earth app. The video itself was on the Chad Preston official 3 channel, which you can find here. The video quality is poor, but Witsit quickly discussed something very interesting to me. An old NATO microwave communication system called ACE-High, which stands for Allied Command Europe High Band. Let's watch a little bit of the video from Witsit.
The ACE, which is the Allied Command Europe High Band, was a NATO communication system implemented during the Cold War, where they're shooting 50 to 250 miles with microwave transmissions. Microwave transmissions. And again, you can't just cop out by saying refraction and diffraction. It doesn't work like that. So you guys don't know the answer. I can play games with you all night and let you pretend you do, but we're going to cut to the chase and tell you what your religion is. Your religion is that it just magically starts to go out horizontally, and there's a magic area in the atmosphere. Not the ionosphere, mind you. This is like just a couple miles up, where it just hits water in the atmos, then reflects right back down to where it's supposed to go. So if I shoot a microwave directly out horizontally, it'll go 250 miles and just coincidentally land exactly where it's supposed to, because there's magic reflection in the atmosphere. So, and
he talks about magic, but first of all, I will come to this part later on. But he don't react that you have a limit for those radio signals. Why couldn't they transmit those kind of signals? For instance, over the Atlantic. If you don't have any mountains or islands in the way, why couldn't they use this system across the Atlantic? He don't address that one. That disproves the flat Earth.
Wouldn't work consistently. This, if you read into the documentation that was recently declassified from this program, it consistently works. You can send these microwaves out over and over and over, and it works every single time, as if it was horizontal.
Now, I'm going to be citing from this article frequently, and I'll have a link in the description. It turns out Witsit was absolutely correct, but it gets even worse for the globe. According to the article, The ACE system was very reliable at 99.9%, and communications could be sent from 50 to 250 miles. It must be noted that microwave transmissions are electromagnetic waves with a frequency of 300 megahertz to 300 gigahertz. Frequencies.
Okay. As usual, Taboo don't read all. I will come back to this image.
Used by ACE range from 832.56 to 959.28 megahertz. That falls within the UHF, ultra-high frequency spectrum, and UHF signals are narrow and travel in straight lines and are limited to line-of-sight applications, in which the receiver can be seen by the transmitter.
Did you notice the trick here? First, he showed the Wikipedia page about ACE, and when he comes back, he shows one about ultra-high frequencies. So let's look what he didn't show his audience. Wait, here. Okay. I have to fix that. Wait a moment. Wait a moment, I have to fix that. I have to zoom in on it. I didn't prepare so well. Okay, this is the article he showed first. And look at the part that I have highlighted yellow. Tropo chatter microwave. Okay, let's have a look at that. Okay, the same problem. I will make it a bit smaller here. So, tropo chatter, a method of communication with microwave radio signals. Distance is often up to 500 kilometers, and it explains here precisely how this works. But Taboo was quite quick to leave this page, and he didn't read out or highlight this part with tropo chatter. So I'm sure that he read this part. That explains how this works. It's no magic. There are science behind it. But is he ever interested in facts and how things works and that things have an explanation that are scientifically proven? Of course not. Don't destroy a good story with facts. Oh dear.
Last week, I was watching a debate with Witsit Gets It that was recently shared on the Flat Earth app. For example, line-of-sight applications, in which the receiver can be seen by the transmitter. Line-of-sight communications are certainly a problem for a globe, where that curvature of the Earth is supposedly bending away from you at roughly 8 inches per mile squared.
And once again, line-of-sight communication. This, if you're standing in Scotland, you have nothing between you and the east coast of US. Why can't you send those kind of signals over that way? What is stopping the signals? You would have a line of sight if you lived on a flat earth. Vänta lite. So, I'm back. I did get a visitor, but as you understand, this is only rubbish, and he goes on.
The curve should begin blocking line of sight transmissions at the last visible edge of the globe called the horizon. For example, if you use a globe Earth curvature calculator like this one, a tower at 200 feet above sea level would be severely limited when attempting a line of sight transmission beyond the geometric edge of the globe. That would be closer than 17 miles. In addition to all other obstructions and the Fresnel zone, at a mere distance of 17 miles, the curvature of the Earth would be...
And as usual, he's using Earth curve calculators and so on, but he don't react to the obvious things. Why this don't work on a flat Earth? Why are there limits? Because with radio signals, if you send with a lot of power, still you will not be able to send those kind of signals across the Atlantic. Okay, he goes on with all the other rubbish about radio systems and so on, but I think this shows that he's dishonest, because in the text he was using, he cherry-picked. Typical Ferf. Who is surprised? Yes. To design something for a special purpose, it must be magic. So this was the videos I prepared for today. I have been quite busy, as I mentioned from earlier on. I've been out at sea, and I have spent several weeks training soldiers from another country that have received the fast combat boats from us in my country. So I have trained them to use them against the enemy, you know who I talk about. So that's one of the reasons why I have become silent. I have done something more important than fighting against flat earthers. So I'm back at home now. I will work at sea, but closer to home. I will work with some equipment tests or weapon tests and so on. That's not a secret. So that's quite official, because we have to close a part of the sea when we are conducting this test, so it's not a secret. But I will continue making videos. I will be home several days a week and at night, so I will come back with new content and new... Yes, Denmark needed new combat boats. Yes, they needed them. I think it was the Faroe Islands that had invaded Denmark or something, or perhaps it was more east this happened. As I mentioned before, I have been a bit restricted what I talk about regarding the ongoing war and what I do. I'm not allowed anymore for my employer to go there, and I'm continuing collecting money to buying equipment and so on, but I have received some threats and so on, so it will be nice when this stupidity ends. Okay, I have going on for almost an hour. I have run out of material. I'm very happy that so many joined me. I will be back shortly with a video or a new live broadcast. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope to see you soon. Have a nice day. And until the next time, behave and don't